Hi guys, welcome back to the Player YouTube channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the new Seat Leon, and you say it Leon for some reason, even though it's spelled Leon. Let's take a look around it, let's get underneath it, and let's get it out on the road and give our evaluation on the latest offering. Okay, so under the bonnet there are a number of different engine types to choose from. You've got 4 petrol engines, 2 diesel engines, and believe it or not, a plug-in hybrid. The engines start with a 3-cylinder 1 litre engine developing around about 110 brake horsepower. Yeah, don't think we'll worry about that one. Then there are 2 1.5 TSI engines, both developing, well, one's 130, this one's 150. And then there is a 2 litre engine in the petrol, which does 190 brake horsepower. 2 diesels, as I mentioned, the plug-in hybrid, but we won't talk about those because today we are talking about this, the 1.5 TSI, which is coupled up to either a 6-speed manual gearbox or you can get a 7-speed auto. There's a number of differences between this car and the standard Seat Leon. However, again, we're going to look at the FR today because that's what we've got. Let's crack on, have a look around it, see the differences between this, the standard one, or the entry-level one, and the old model. You've got to admit the new Seat Leon does look rather nice, and for a car with an entry level of just under 20,000 UK pounds, it could also be excellent value for money. It does have that similarity to the Golf, that new Golf, the Mark 8 that we reviewed a couple of weeks ago. If you look up here now, you can watch that video too. However, I'm inclined to sort of lean towards the Seat, believe it or not. I think it's rather nice. This especially looks nice because it's the FR version, and the FR version means it's a little bit more sporty. It's got a few extra bits and pieces on it. With the entry level you only get 16-inch alloys. With the FR you get 17-inch alloys as well, and you get standard LEDs as part of the money as well. So all the little bits sort of add up. The only thing I will mention round the front here, these, none of them are proper air intakes. They're just made to look like air intakes. Down the side you'll find there's little accents on it, like this matte grey. That is part of the FR range as well, so you don't get that on the standard one. But I think all in all, it's a very good looking car, and it's about that much more, which in imperial measurements about half a foot, and in centimetres is probably around about 60-50 centimetres longer than its predecessor. Let's go and have a look in the boot because that is rather interesting. So around at the back, what I mentioned was, as in interesting, is they've put someone's name right across here because it actually looks like someone's just signed their name there. I don't like that. I think I preferred it when it was back over there, but this is sort of in keeping with the whole new ethos from VW Group to have all the names of the cars in the middle here under the badge. Before we open it, let's just take a look, because you get your little FR badge here on the side, which is really, really nice. You get this lovely big sort of aerodynamic spoilery thing on the back here, wash and wipe. And what I love the most, the light comes right the way across there, joins up with the other LEDs either side. It's really nice. However, every time they do this, you would think with the FR, these would be proper exhaust, but they're not. They're just fake again. It's a shame, because if they had a couple of pipes out the back of it, it would look really smart. It's a very, very sexy boot. Let's check out inside. Very much like the Golf, as we mentioned earlier. It's a click there with the Seat badge, and it didn't want to let me in at first. I see the cameraman go, oh no, not another take. Right, let's crack on. Lovely parcel shelf. You know we love these, and you know exactly where this one's going because I hate them. They won't come out easily, and they are a waste of space. Sorry. There we go, 380 litres. Ironically, it's exactly the same as the Golf. And guess what? It's exactly the same as the one before, the older version of this as well. So there's not a lot really that, you know, has changed around this area. There's nothing inside, there's no 12-volt adapter, there's nothing. The only good thing is, in the bottom here, if I lift this up, you do get a puncture repair kit. Now that's useful, isn't it? Yes. But I think if you take the pannier bit out in the middle, which unfortunately is bolted in, you could put a space saver in there. I think that's got to be an option because there is a massive hole in there. Let's sling that down. There's a huge lip inside there. I mean, anything you're going to put in there is definitely going to scratch the back here as well. And it's just such a drop. Yeah, and there's no adjustable flooring bit here. That would have been nice if you could have brought it up a little bit, but okay. It is what it is at the end of the day. Let's see if there's enough comfort and space in the back for the passengers. In the back for the passengers, well, straight away it's very easy to get in and out of, which is rather nice. Also, when I shut this door, I'll pull it back here because it's quite hot today and I haven't got the aircon on. You do get these slightly tinted windows at the back and they're really big, so it's nice. It's got a really lovely airy feel about it. You do get independent heating controls at the back here, 2 USB-C ports as well, which is really nice. Centre section here is quite large. I think you definitely get 3 people across here, and you get a really nice little shelf here, a couple of cup holders, and check it out, if you pull it, it's rather tight, you have a ski hatch, or as in the UK it's called a B&Q. Yeah, if you live in the UK you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyway, that is the ski hatch. You can put your skis there. Let's see how much space we got in the middle. You've got a rather large transmission tunnel in the middle there, and yeah, it's okay. And the good thing about sitting here is you do get a great view between these 2 seats, and this seat has been pushed quite a way back, I can assure you. I'm going to sit back over here. You get ISOFIX points either side, and again they've been tucked away nice and neatly so you don't have all those bits and pieces hanging out. What I also like is, see the seat belts here, so they've been recessed rather nicely, so if you do have to slide across you're not going to catch your belt or anything on them. All in all, it's a really comfortable space. You've got some nice reading LEDs up the top here, and check it out, look, and the height as well. It's quite good. I really like this car so far. Let's jump in the front and see what it's like for the guy who actually has to sit behind the wheel, or girl who has to sit behind the wheel. Here we are up front, and first of all, keyless ignition, so that's quite nice. Got the button down here for your engine start. It's got a really lovely big screen and it's very, very nice and easy to use. However, it's very distracting when you need to change, say, the temperature, because the buttons here, this one's fine, but actually moving it up and down, you'll see it move there, is quite sensitive, and you want to be watching the road, not really watching what temperature you're setting in there. So I sort of kind of miss the old dials, you know, the knobby bits that you could turn, and it was much simpler. This is nice, I like it, and it's, you know, after a while you get used to it. You've got your phone on there and you've got all your apps and things like that. Lovely digital instrument panel here as well, and that again quite easy to use by manipulating here on the steering wheel, but we're going to do all that when we get it out on the road, because I want to show you while I'm driving how easy all this is to use. This, as I mentioned earlier, this is the 6-speed manual. Another thing I wanted to mention was this car is 4 doors or 5 doors, that's the way you have to regard it. So you've got 4 doors of getting in and out and a 5th door, which is the boot. They used to do in the previous version a 3-door or 2, you know, driver's doors and a boot, which I call a hatchback. I think it's quite cool. They don't do that in this. You can only get it with 4 doors, which in a way I think is a bit of a shame, not giving you that option. However, that is the way things are. The seats are slightly different in the FR model. They're a little bit more well bolstered than the entry-level seats that you get, and they are very, very comfortable indeed. I was expecting that though, because it's part of that VW thing. The other thing is, when you shut the door, it's supposed to not sound like a Golf, but if you ask me, it really does sound like a Golf. Oh, now it's telling me I'm going to have to leave the door. See, this is a big thing. It comes with so many warnings and things that go off all the time. A couple of them I've actually had to turn off. One in particular was it's got a warning when you take your hands off the steering wheel on the lane departure warning system. It's so sensitive, even when you've got your hands on the wheel, it keeps going off. So I've had to literally turn it off. That's not good. That's one of my little bugbears with this car. Great aircon system. You've got wireless charging in here for your iPhone. You've also got Android mirroring and Apple Play, and you've got wireless Apple Play. So in other words, you don't need to plug in to get the wireless Apple Play. There's 2 USB buttons at the front here for charging as well if you need them. They're USB-Cs, so you are going to need the little adapter, which a lot of car companies have been giving me in the last few weeks. This one doesn't particularly have one. However, I don't need one because my Apple charges wirelessly. In here, I've opened this up ready. There's a nice little cubby with a 12-volt adapter in there, so that's quite handy as well. You're not going to get much in there. No, it's really small, but it's just like the Golf, you know, when you just move it up and down like that and get it into the height where you want. And it's a nice soft plastic as well. Double cup holder here. Well, say double, there's 1 cup holder and then a half a cup holder. It's like for a baby's bottle or something. So it's not quite a double cup holder. Push that down again. Couple of buttons here, auto locking, so you can lock the doors and things like that. And then over here on the right is your light cluster system, so you can set your lights to auto or put your fog lights on or whatever you want to do. I think all we need to do really is get this car out on the road and give you the final evaluation on the Seat Leon FR. Once you get the Seat Leon out on the road, you're going to notice a huge difference between this and the Golf, especially the new Golf, the one that I drove a few weeks ago, because that has independent rear suspension, and I truly believe that that car is more geared up to long distance driving, for motorways, for dual carriageways, just, you know, getting out there and doing a couple of hours behind the wheel, whereas this car is nothing like that whatsoever. This is pure fun. This is how a car should be. This has the old style suspension and it has the old style braking, and everything about it is fun, because that's, I think, what VW wanted with Seat. They wanted it to be their sporty little brother, and that definitely is what it is. It's an exciting car to drive, and I've loved every minute of this, throwing it around, you know, B roads, around roundabouts. I would really love to get this out on the track somewhere. I'm sure this would be so much fun. There's safety aids on here. I mean, let's talk a couple of bits about the price, because for, you know, an entry-level car at 20,000 UK pounds is incredible value for money. This one is 24,500 because it is the FR, and you do get all the extra bits. Now we'll get back to those safety aids that I was just about to talk about, because on this particular car you get blind spot mirrors, you get autonomous braking in town, you get lane departure warning system, you get distance control, and you get cruise control. That's all on the left-hand side of the wheel here, and very easy to operate as well. It's another thing that I've noticed about the Seat as against the Golf. Everything in here is much easier to make it happen, and that to me is incredible, because I thought it'd be the same sort of system, but it isn't. It is very much different. On the right hand side you have voice control. You also have a nice easy scrolly button at the top here, and then a big knurled wheel on the right here. So on the instrument panel there are 3 dials, and you can go between each one and change it how you want. So in the middle you can have a map, on the right you can have a compass, and on the left you can set up your fuel consumption, for example. Great link. AJ came up with a good link there. My link is to the fuel consumption, and I want to talk about that because, oh wow, this car is stunning. It is quoted as 44 to 45 to the gallon. I'm getting almost 50 miles to the gallon, and I'm absolutely, look, it's coming up here now, watch. Look at that, 49 point something. I'm driving around town, I'm not even on a run. Imagine out on a run, that's the urban. On a run, I'm going to be 55, maybe even 60 to the gallon. Now, how often do you come across a motor manufacturer that underestimates its mileage, its fuel mileage? This is the first for me. I have never ever heard of it. So there you go. It's great value for money. You've got loads of safety aids on here. The only little bugbear I had, I said earlier about the buttons on here, the touch sensitive, and also if you want to reduce the fan speed on the air conditioning, you have to go in to the system on here. Now, I'm not saying it's difficult. You don't need computer rocket science degree to be able to use it, but it distracts from what you're doing, and the main focus of what you're doing when you're out in this car is driving and staying alive and make sure you keep other people alive. But I keep having to look over here and trying to move things and touch things. It's taking your mind and the whole focus onto that and not on the road. I find that a little bit dangerous, so I'm not keen on that. I've got to grips now with the buttons, moving them up and down and getting the different temperatures right. That's okay. In the center you can also change the volume on the on whatever media you're listening to as well, and again that's a slidey touch sensitive button. It's not the end of the world. I just don't like it. I prefer those little knobs. Much easier, guys, much easier. Saves all the hassle, and you don't even need to look down. You can just feel and you know where they are. So there you go. That's just my personal preference. Speaking of personal preference, well, you've been watching me, AJ the Player. I thank you for watching. Don't forget, like, subscribe and comment at your peril, and leave the little bell sign unchecked, and you will get a notification whenever we upload a video, which is around between 1 and 2 a week, because we cover a vast array of things, not just cars. We're not just watching car reviews. We do boats, we do planes, we do holidays, we do golf, you name it, and that all comes under the name of The Player. And if you look down here now, theplayer.co.uk, if you want to head over to that website, and all you got to do is subscribe to the bookazine, you will get a 200-page bookazine, magazine, whatever you want to call it, is online. You can browse through that. We've got cars, we've got all the boats, we all got got hotels, golf, wine, you name it. It's all in that book. And for you, because you watch me on YouTube, it's completely free of charge. It's on me, guys. Go and help yourself fill your boots. Enjoy. I'll be back next week with something else, and I look forward to seeing, or not seeing you, but giving you another review or talking about something else interesting that us guys love. Take it easy, guys, and don't forget, above all, safe motoring.